high. They may be higher than yours, even if you thought the Heat were going to win a championship this year. Take a listen.
Jimmy Butler.
Pass intercepted by Jimmy Butler. Jimmy goes in, two-hand jam.
He's a competitor. The thing that I love about Jimmy is he lifts his teammates up.
Lakers coming to town with the best record in the West. You guys are #2 in the East and still undefeated at home. It's going to be a Friday night in Miami. What do you think the buzz is going to be like for this game?
It's going to be rocking. I forgot they have a guy on their team that used to play here.
What's his name again?
What is his name? I know they have Anthony Davis. So
yes.
They have him too. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a nice show to be at.
You and LeBron James, that's the guy.
That's him.
Always go into battle when you play each other. You actually have a slight edge. What is it that you relish so much about going up against him?
So that's what happens when you have two fierce competitors out there that love the game, that have fun, and that don't like to lose.
Jimmy's going to put up the three. Got it to go.
You and Dwayne Wade are so tight. Did he give you any sort of secrets or keys to the franchise before you came down here? Did he tell you where Pat Riley keeps his secret wine stash? Did you get anything?
I wish it was that easy. He just told me how he could see me being a part of the organization and a part of the culture. I think that's a word that everybody uses here, and it's real, it's true. Because the way that I work, and I pride myself on that. You know, a lot of people work as well, but a lot of people don't work the way that they want you to work here or that you have to work here in order to get by. I love it, we love it, and we do it every day.
It strikes me the difference because the last time you and I sat across from each other doing one of these interviews, it was about a year ago in Minnesota. I believe it was the day you basically burned the practice facility down.
Not.
Can you tell me just how much things have changed for you from there to here?
I got to pick where I wanted to play basketball. I don't know, I'm just happy. So with so many things that I could possibly say, I think the biggest is that I'm happy and that we're winning. And nobody thought we would do it, but hey, we're here.
I know you thought you guys were going to compete this year, but be honest, did you really think this team was that good?
You're really gonna ask me if
Yes.
I really think a team that I'm on is that good.
#2 in the East. You thought you would be in that level.
I'm surprised we're not #1 to tell you the truth.
Two-hand jam. Jimmy Butler flying through the air for Miami.
You heard a lot of criticism when you did make that choice and agreed to come to Miami.
Good.
What burned at you that you thought wasn't true?
Come on now. I hear it all about who I am as a person, who I am as a player, as a teammate, yada, yada, yada. Whatever. I know who I am.
There was a lot of, oh, well, then he clearly doesn't care about winning if he's
well,
going
right
down
to
to
the
Miami. What did you think when you heard that at the time?
I know what I'm capable of. My thing is, like, people act like I'm not a good basketball player. Like, I can't give guys confidence. Like, I can't help guys get better.
So that just by you coming down here, it could become more of a winning team.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm not gonna say I'm the best player in the world. I'm not gonna say I'm not the best player in the world. But I'm just saying, like, when you got guys on a roster that work like my guys work, like the guys here work, anything is possible.
There were some people who were surprised you went anywhere at all. You had had a lot of success in Philadelphia, especially in the playoffs. So what happened?
A lot of things happen. A lot of things happen on the inside. So from the outside, you can guess at what was going on, rightfully so. You could try to put the pieces of the puzzle together, but you never really know what happened.
But you know, so that's why I'm asking
I
you.
do know. But then that'd make me a snitch if I was to spill all the beans.
Joining the Heat, not the only big recent change in your life. You recently also became a father for the first time. Your coach, Eric Spoelstra, also just had a baby. Are you guys doing like a daddy play group on the side or what? What's happening here?
I want to, but I feel like he's just always gonna talk to me about basketball, and I don't know how that's gonna go when the kids are crawling around and.
You could diagram plays with Legos or something.
Nah.
No?
No. But it just puts everything in perspective for me. And you know, missing the home opener, it was like you really get to find out what's #1 now. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so you've played for 4 teams in the last 4 years.
Okay.
Are you finally ready to settle down here? Do you feel like this is going to be a long-term arrangement?
Yep. I'll be here. This is it for me. It's a match made in heaven, whatever you want to call it. I'm here to stay as long as Miami wants me here.
Thank you so much to Jimmy for sitting down. Always so much fun. And Perk, He's always, let's just call him confident. Definitely thinks a lot of what he can do and what this team can do. Do you think, like he does, that this team can contend right now in the East, a conference with Giannis Antetokounmpo in it, or do you think they need another piece?
I think they need another piece, but not right now.
Okay.
I'm with Jimmy. Right now, they need to stay put this season. You know, they're number 2 in the East. He's playing great basketball. I think this team could actually go deep into the second round. Actually, you know, whatever happens, could make the Eastern Conference Finals and make a push. They're really this good. They play hard. They're well coached. I do think they need to add a piece, but that's in 2021.
Oh.
And I think they need to add Giannis. And I think Giannis is a great fit here.
Yeah?
I think him and Jimmy complement each other very well. They're the same type of guy, same type of character. Both of these guys work extremely hard. And Giannis, this Heat culture is Giannis. So could you imagine Giannis and Jimmy on the same team, coached by Eric Spoelstra? It would be phenomenal.
Give Giannis a chance to win a title in Milwaukee first, please.
I'm just saying. I'm just speaking ahead. I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm with Perk, Rachel. Look, I think that they could use another piece, and we know this. Since Pat Riley came here and became president, September 2nd, 1995, it's been about trying to win championships and parades down Biscayne Boulevard behind us, and that's the goal here. I don't think this particular team is capable of that. I do think, like Perk's second-round team, maybe conference finals. They need a lot of breaks, I think, to come out of the East potentially. But yeah, 2021, Pat Riley is a big game hunter. You know he loves to big game hunt in free agency, and we know there's going to be a lot of free agents in 2021. I think they're going to be patient, grow this young team around Jimmy for now, and then shop them.
But I think there are tweaks they could make this year. Look, there was talk before the season of should they go after a Chris Paul? Should they go after a Kyle Lowry? I don't think Kyle Lowry is necessarily going anywhere because Toronto has had such a good start. Chris Paul is very expensive, not just in terms of what you'd have to give up, but also in terms of the money that he would put on your books in that summer of 2021. But maybe you try to pry Bertans away from Washington. Maybe you try to get J.J. Redick down here from the Pelicans. That could happen before the February trade deadline. Obviously, he and Jimmy really like playing with each other. They were tight up in Philadelphia. That kind of shooting, I think, could still help this team and maybe push them, as you say, from the second round to the conference finals. And you never know what can happen once you get in there.
You could never have enough shooting. I also think that if they had their druthers, you probably would add another rim defender to this particular mix with Bam and the group that they have. I think those are two small tweaks that they can make. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to take a slightly more serious turn here, guys, because last night we got the news that former commissioner David Stern suffered a brain hemorrhage at a Manhattan restaurant. He had emergency surgery, and I have to say, guys, when he was taken to the nearby hospital, there were so many people holding their breath. We're still waiting for further updates on his condition. It's worth revisiting, even now, just what David did for this league and for American sports in general. When he took over as commissioner, the NBA was still showing its playoff games, guys, on tape delay. By the time he left 30 years later, the NBA is truly a global powerhouse. Its franchise is worth billions. Now, to say David ruled with an iron fist is an understatement. During his tenure, he sometimes seemed to relish combat almost as much as he relished basketball. But all through his time as commissioner, he also often showed warmth, brilliance. He made sure the NBA led the way among American sports leagues in promoting both women and minorities. And he was funny, too, guys. Back in 2014, I actually sat down with David for his final exit interview as commissioner. Take a listen. I hear that as you've been getting ready to leave
Yes. The only thing I'm leaving for Adam is a large, lifelike poster of me.
I think that's wise.
I thought, it's actually not a poster, it's a cutout, and I thought I would just leave it standing behind
Looking
the
over
desk.
his shoulder, maybe?
Yes. I may make a few of them, so I'll place them around the office.
David has been married to his wife, Diane, for 56 years. Our hearts are with her and the entire Stern family, as all together, we hope for David's recovery. All right, coming up, we'll be talking about Luka Doncic. He had a 40-point triple-double down last night. We'll talk about how he's changing the way people are viewing the Mavericks in the West. First, though, it's time for our first distant replay. It's from this date in 2002. Make emphasis. Check out this two-handed dunk from Christian Wood last night. Just bodies up. All right, so our two-handed dunks and blocks just better, Perk?
Yeah, absolutely. Two-hand dunks. Look, when you dunk with two hands, you're getting a for-show bucket. And when you block with when you get a block shot with two hands, you're saving the possession. Usually when you block with one hand, the ball go out of bounds. Or when you dunking with one hand, you probably get it's a chance you missed the dunk. You haven't missed too many.
I don't mean to bring up bad memories, but I do remember a D-Wade two-handed dunk on you here at this arena.
Don't remind me of that. I just talked about that on the radio show yesterday. Look, he got me back. I can't lie. I got him in Oklahoma City, and he got me back with a nasty.
I can add nothing to a two-handed dunk conversation at all. All right, missing. There was no missing last night. Well, very little for the Denver Nuggets. They were on absolute fire from three, shot 50%, 18 of 36 from deep. George, are you encouraged by the Nuggets shooting? They've been an uneven season.
I am, because it's been pretty poor, particularly from their perimeter guys. And I know we use the term regression to the mean. Maybe this is progression to the mean, because they've been bad enough where it has to only get better.
And it helps everyone when the shooting.
I'm not encouraged. I got to see more. It got to be more consistent. The reason that the Nuggets are in this position because they've been hanging their hats on the defensive end.
Yep, absolutely. Who thought we would have said that 2 or 3 seasons ago? But there they are in Denver. All right, make posters. Watch Kristaps Porzingis here. He's going to get past Blake Griffin. Little pump fake, and then posterizing Andre Drummond.
Oh, no. KP, my bad.
Drummond also got posterized by Brandon Ingram earlier this week. Yep, sorry, oops, bye. Does Drummond just need to take the rest of the week off, or what?
Listen, hey, much respect to Drummond, because look, when you're a shot blocker, you get dunked on.
Exactly.
I got to respect them, because a lot of people move out the way. They don't want to be in the poster. Hey, keep challenging them, big fella. I'm with you.
One of the best shot blockers in the league. I saw him play here a ton. Alonzo Mourning, right? He's going to be on the show.
Yep.
And he got posterized a couple times, but he got a lot of guys back.
Yeah.
So you got to take that challenge.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, effort. Let's get to the Cavs' first game from last night. I want you to watch Tristan Thompson trailing.
I seen this.
Trailing a bit on defense.
I watched this.
A bit?
A bit.
So, yeah.
Still mad.
Matthew Dellavedova gets the steal. Thompson in perfect position to cherry pick and get the dunk. So does cherry picking pay off sometimes?
No, not at all. He didn't play the rest of the game. So
there was some issues between him and
Colin Sexton. No, it was him and Colin Sexton. And that was the problem, because Colin Sexton missed or took a bad shot. I actually was watching this game because I was surprised that the Cavs were actually winning at this point. And
Kendrick Perkins.
It's the truth, Rachel.
Yes.
Don't act like when you see the Cavs.
Keep it real.
When you see the Cavs on the spread, that people don't be like, okay, I'm picking this. It's covering today. And they actually was winning.
There were some incidents over there last night. Make sharing. More from Mexico City last night. Luka Doncic putting on a show.
There you go.
41 points, 12 rebounds, 11 dimes. Here are 2 of our favorites, Perk. We got the oop to KP, and then a little behind the back also to Dwight Powell. So how much fun would you have playing with Luka if you could?
Oh, I would love it. He's a baby LeBron.
Right.
Minus the hops, right? But I'm just talking about overall, I would love to play with Luka. He's a winner. His basketball IQ is through the roof, and hey, listen, the sky's the limit for this kid.
To think people doubted that he could be the best player in that draft is pretty wild, when he was the best player in the second best league in the world, playing against men.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Look, I mean, people say without the athleticism for the LeBron comp, he's just got a different kind of athleticism,
You're right.
I would say. He's not just non-athletic like some of the guys we've seen come through the league. But
I was going to say sneaky athletic, but I wasn't going to do that.
You cannot say that about a white person, Kendrick Perkins.
I know. I learned my lesson the hard way.
Welcome back to Miami. I'm Rachel Nichols, still here with Kendrick Perkins and George Sedano. And George, I want you to know, how impressed were you? I want you to tell all of us how impressed we should be with Luka Doncic last night, because he got out there, spoke some Spanish to the crowd in Mexico City. He, of course, played in the Spanish League when he was coming up as a high schooler. What did you think? Take a listen to how he did.
Es un placer para nosotros estar aquí. Muchas gracias por el recibimiento y espero que disfruten del juego. Y una cosa más, ¡Viva México, güey!
Blake Griffin, then, by the way, was just like, hola.
Yo quiero Taco Bell, right?
Exactly.
That's what Blake Griffin wanted to do.
It's pretty good, though, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, Luka, again, he played in Spain for all those years. Basically, in his childhood, he started playing there.
Yeah.
He speaks fluent Spanish. I did his first game. last season, Phoenix against Dallas, and I spoke to him strictly in Spanish because he felt more comfortable. Armina Kimes did the story with him before he came into the league, and she told me if you talk to him in Spanish, he's going to be much more engaging, and he was. Yeah, it was fantastic. He speaks fluent Spanish.
Well, he also speaks fluent basketball.
Yes.
Because he dropped 40-point triple-double. It was his second career 40-point triple-double. He is a child. You said in his childhood, he's still kind of a child.
Yes.
And it's his second 40-point triple-double. Is Luka changing your opinion of the Mavs' chances, Perk?
Yeah, absolutely. I was high on Luka since, you know, when the season started, when he started putting up those numbers. I wasn't necessarily high on their team, but now I'm like, this team is good.
Yeah.
They're really good. You look at the kid Bronson who comes in off the bench, Seth Curry, Powell, Finney-Smith. You have all these guys that are playing their roles. And Luka, KP is actually coming in, and I apologize to KP because he's actually performing at a level that he needs to be performing at. But I'm very high on this Dallas team. I think this Dallas team could actually, well, I think they could go to the second round and actually make a push to the Western Conference if a team not careful.
I agree. I think that they remind me a lot of this Heat team, to be honest with you, where they were, at least at the beginning of the season, they thought maybe they're a fringe playoff team, or in the East, the Heat were probably a playoff team. But in the West, Dallas was a fringe playoff team. And now they are entrenched. I don't think there's any question about that. And as Perk said, they're a second-round type team. And if they get a break or a bounce, who knows? They could potentially be in the Western Conference Finals.
Well, I do want to ask you more about this Heat team. We're so excited to be here for tonight's game because this team's just cooking, right? But they've done it in part without Dion Waiters, and now it looks like they will be without Dion Waiters for quite a while. The Heat suspended Dion for the third time already this season, this time to, quote, for failure to adhere to team policies, violation of team rules, and continued insubordination. His previous two suspensions were a 10-game ban after an incident on the team plane in November and a suspension for the season opener for detrimental conduct. Perk, you played with Dion Waiters. What is your reaction to this?
Well, you know, when I played with Dion, he was a quiet guy. He was very quiet, and, you know, it's very disturbing in a way because, you know, the Heat has a certain culture. The league knows this, even if you haven't played here. And it's not good for the younger guys that's coming up, the rookies, the college guys. It's not setting a good example for one, but you just never know. Going into the next CBA, it could cause any type of, you know, where it hurt their money, where it's like, hold on, can I pay this guy and he's going to change? You know, one of my great mentors, and Kevin Garnett told me this, you always see a player, you always go determine what type of player an NBA player is once he gets his payday. And right now, Dion is not setting a great example, and this is unacceptable in my opinion.
I agree. Richard, you mentioned the 3 suspensions. He's only one of 2 guys in the last 15 years to have 3 suspensions in a season. We're not even at Christmas yet. In my opinion, I think, and again, I'm not reporting this, but I would be stunned if he played again for this Miami Heat team this season. I think
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I think, look, this team has a certain culture, as Perk talked about. Look at what happened at the beginning of this season. It was him and James Johnson who were out. Now, James Johnson, we're talking about just like a simple weight thing, because we know how strict they can be about conditioning here.
No, I wouldn't make that.
And James was back with the team. He's played a little bit. He's basically out of the rotation, but he's at least available. Dion is not even available, I believe, in these games, it seems like. So I just think he's done. I think that this is a culture Pat Riley talked about, that he wanted to retighten the culture, and here we are.
All right. Well, George, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to let you go have a little more fun in your hometown.
I will.
You guys stick with us, though. Yeah, exactly. You guys need to stick with us, though, because we have NBA Hall of Famer, legend Alonzo Mourning. He will be joining us here on set. We'll get his opinion on this year's Heat and talk about, hey, there's a meme I think Alonzo's involved in. Have you seen that on the internet? We'll talk about that. You don't want to miss it.
Oh, Alonzo Mourning.
Rejected, denied by Mourning.
So powers it back. Wrong with the right hand.
Oh, wow. My goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yes, here he is. 7-time All-Star, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2006 NBA champion, Hall of Famer Alonzo Mourning. Thank you so much for being here.
Rachel, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Perk, thank you.
So thrilled.
Man, it's a pleasure.
It's not Miami without Alonzo Mourning.
Absolutely.
First of all, the legend is here.
I know why y'all are here. Y'all running away from all the cold weather around the country. So
Hey, we're based out of LA. We're good.
Yeah. All right. Still a little chilly there.
Little bit. Perk, when you played against Alonzo, you faced him 7 different times in your career. We looked it up. How did it go?
It didn't go well at all, Rachel. Like, listen, and I'm not just saying this because he was here, but because he's sitting right here, but like every game we was playing, like when we get ready to play Miami Heat, I would hit the weight room. I'm like, man, I got Alonzo. Yeah, I'm gonna do good. And every game I failed. Like literally, I failed. I could not. Anybody else, I could body him, play bully ball. It just wasn't happening with old school Lonzo. And I was just like, man, I just couldn't get over it. I was like,
Perk, you held your own, baby.
yeah, I mean, I did. One out of 10, I did a 2.
Yeah.
I got myself out of 2, but you don't even understand the preparation. I'm like, nah, today, and it just never happened.
It just didn't come. Well, that's why we just saw his jersey go up. They showed some video of that because that's why it's in the rafters and retired here. So I want to ask you about this year's Heat team. Number 2 in the East. Did you expect them to be this good this quickly with Jimmy Butler here?
You know, I always expect us to do well simply because of our development and preparation throughout the year. You know, obviously, you know, throughout the years, there's always things that kind of get in the way of your success, injuries and what have you. You know, but the long and short of it is, we prepare to be, you know, contenders every year. We prepare that way, you know, and that's the mentality of this organization. So it doesn't surprise me. And I know how hard these guys work during the summertime. We had great draft picks and guys that come in the summertime early and prepare and get their bodies ready for the rigors of this season. And it shows the work that they put in. It's all showing.
Now, Perk, we know that Alonzo passed this team down to Dwayne Wade, basically, right? And then Dwayne passed it on to his friend Jimmy Butler.
Right.
But to me, I see Jimmy more as a direct heir to Alonzo Mourning, just in terms of playing style and attitude.
Right.
Do you feel the same way?
Yes, I mean, he fits the Heat culture. Like, you think about this.
For sure.
Lonzo, OG, he set the standard for the Heat culture, right? So, like, I could never play in the Heat culture because I had this whack body. I don't know if I ever could pass the fat test.
Because you like to eat.
Right, I like to eat. I'm mentally tough, so I think I would enjoy playing here. But, yeah, but I do have one question, though, right?
that?
So, Kendrick Nunn, okay?
Right.
I'm very close with his first agent that he ever had, in Richard Gray. And he said that when he had Kendrick Nunn, it was like 15 to 20 GMs that told him this kid would never play in the NBA. And here he is today, probably second to John Morant as, you know, Rookie of the Year candidate, starting for you guys, holding his own, playing great basketball. I just want to know, what made you guys believe in him? Like,
well, first of all, you know, we're all basketball professionals. We're not perfect at our job,
right?
You know, so there's a lot of front office people that, you know, sometimes they make decisions that they wish they could change.
Right,
you know?
absolutely.
So we were fortunate enough to identify, you know, Kendrick as somebody that we could grow and develop, and you know, none of what, based on what he showed us this summer, none of what he's doing now is shocking to me. You know, he had an amazing summer league. I saw him in here almost every day during the summertime, preparing and developing his body and getting ready. And now it shows, you know, it shows. He already had the talent, you know, so it was a matter of developing that talent and him gaining the confidence that he needed to gain, you know, and now he's definitely has his confidence. I think where it kind of did it for him is not what he did in the summer league, but I think in a preseason game he had 40 points against Houston.
I remember that.
And I think that something clicked that day,
right?
You know, and he realized, like, wow, I belong, you know, and then the rest is history, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, my thing is, like, the thing I respect the most about, like, the Miami Heat culture is that you guys don't care about giving a guy an opportunity if he earns it. Like
Right.
the money aside or who's the max guy, no. And especially with Spo, he puts whoever, but it's not like that all the way around, and that's what separates the Heat.
Well, you earn
from
your
a lot
minutes.
of different.
You earn your minutes
Right.
on the court.
Right.
You put the work in. You know, you do what you have to do to make the coach play you.
Absolutely.
You know,
but
so-
but you know, as a former player, it's not like that everywhere. You know, you don't earn your minutes. Sometimes, hey,
I
the
get
big
it.
buck guys
But it's
get
a different culture.
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. Absolutely.
You have to know who you're talking to also, Perk, because this man got minutes every time he walked in the door.
Well, I earned them.
I know you did, absolutely. I'm just saying.
I prided myself as being the hardest working guy on the team, so I earned my minutes.
Absolutely, and you got a team full of hard workers here, and that's why I
for
made
sure.
the comparison between you and Jimmy. But to your point about Kendrick and all the guys on here, so many guys on this team like to work, and that is why this team is gelled so much together.
I mean, ultimately, we're professionals, you know. We want to get whatever we can out of our craft. It's a small window of an opportunity for us to generate the income that we want to generate, you know. And after that, you know, we retire, you know, and we still got a long life in front of us. But, you know, while we're doing this, we're trying to try to get as much out of it as we can. And I think this, you know, our system, our culture allows players to do that if they buy into the system. If they buy into it, you know, we get the best out of them.
Well, you have done so many things post-career.
Right.
I'm going to get to the more serious one in a minute, but I also need to know, do you understand your place in NBA Twitter and the meme that has you
Yes,
nodding?
because I want to know, too, because I'm on Twitter a lot.
That is from the 2006 opening night. Do you remember what was going on then? Do you have any context
First of all,
for us?
did you see the score of the game? All right, so we were getting our butts kicked, you know, so that
Down
was a
30.
That was a look of disgust at that particular time. We were down 30, so that hence the reaction to what was going on. So,
Do you see all the ways this is used around the internet? That's fantastic.
Yes, it's one of the most popular memes, you know, and it's pretty comical because I like to know exactly at that particular moment my exact thoughts. I knew I was a little disgusted by the score, but I like to know my exact thoughts.
I don't think your exact thoughts we can say on national daytime television because this is a family program. I do want to get to the other thing that you have done since retiring, or actually you started it before you retired.
What's that?
The Overtown Center that you started in 2003 and have done tremendous work with. I don't think people who aren't in this part of the country know how many lives you have impacted and changed by this development program.
Rachel, you know, community service has been my life's work ever since I stepped in Miami in 1995. I've been fortunate enough to have allies in the Miami Heat to support my initiatives. We provide educational opportunities for children and families in very low socioeconomic areas. We currently have a little over 500 kids, school-age kids from second grade all the way through post-high in our program. We graduate 100% of our kids from high school. 90% of our kids go to college and graduate. Just kicked off, currently the facility, we just kicked off a capital campaign for a 56,000 square foot facility on the same footprint. It's a $15 million project. We already raised $14 million of it already.
Wow.
So we're excited about it, and that's going to triple the amount of kids that we're going to be serving in that community.
Man, that's
as well,
impressive.
you know, so
Already a tremendous number of kids have passed through these doors. 90% going to and graduating from college in a community that does not see that kind of number most of the time. These are things that people kind of gloss over of, oh yeah, he does charity work. He is changing people's lives and their entire families after that. Stick around. We got more with Alonzo Mourning coming up after this break. We're also going to go through, LeBron James used to play in this building pretty regularly, and he wore number 6. So we're going to go through the top 6 plays for LeBron James when he wore number 6. Stay tuned for that as well.
Oh.
Look at number 6, 2012. LeBron jumping over John Lucas. I'm sorry there, sir.
LeBron was in some great shape when he was here.
2013 we got sitting at number 5. I don't want to embarrass Paul Millsap or anything, but yeah, sorry.
Jesus.
There you go. That was a lot.
Look how explosive he was. Oh my God.
He was in his 20s, man.
Was that a charge though?
He was in his 20s back then. Man.
Christmas Day 2013, LeBron and Dwayne, the little alley-oop show.
He was a little lighter.
He was a little lighter, yeah. He was in his 20s, man. I used to jump like that in my 20s.
I never jumped like that, even in my teens.
I
In
never jumped like
2014,
that, period.
step back game winner
Oh, I remember
against
that.
the Warriors, Oracle Arena.
It was clutch.
Right?
That's the favorite side of the floor. You know that's going in.
Yep.
To his left. Yeah.
Yep.
Boom. And you knew this was going to be on here. First, we got the 2013
give me
finals.
that.
Yeah, that's an amazing block.
Sorry, Tiago Splitter,
me
but
that.
you ain't getting any of that. Nope.
Off the vert, too.
Actually, we have a photo of that in Championship Alley.
I
Off
yes.
the vert.
Yeah,
That's
huge
impressive.
block.
And also,
Oh, my
2013,
Oh my goodness.
the
Why,
Jet.
JT?
The Jet is grounded for the foreseeable future. Thank you very much,
man,
ladies
they
and
just
gentlemen.
What was he thinking about?
They set him up.
Yeah.
Oh, they wrong for that, man. That was the best. JT, I
So
love you.
much
but, man,
fun that has happened both in this building and as
For
you've been
sure.
associated with the team. I know LeBron was such a fun player for you to have around
much so.
when you guys were together, and one of
Yeah.
the most fun players to watch because we've talked about that.
Yeah.
I want to know though about the player today in the league who reminds you most of yourself. Who would you say that is?
Well, clearly, I'm a little biased, because I get a chance to see him on a regular basis. But Jimmy Butler, he's a miniature version of myself, and just his intensity, the way he goes about preparation, and then also, the way he plays on both sides of the ball defensively as well as offensively, and he can impact the game with his defense, change the game with his defense, and I always knew that I would get my points during the flow of the game. But I made it a point and a priority to make sure that defense and rebounding, I was going to do that, prioritize that to help my teammates.
Do you see it with him and Jimmy?
Well, I mean, yeah, I do see that with Jimmy, but I was sitting up here thinking before we came on, it was like, Perk, who would you compare? And I was thinking of all big men. And I was like, I can't disrespect a great like that because the game has got soft, so it's not bigs that play like Zoe anymore. So
Right.
I would have to say Giannis, and the reason I'm saying Giannis is because he's just like Alonzo in this capacity. As far as he don't bring it every game, he brings it every possession. And you don't find players like that no more. And that's the same how Alonzo was. He brought it every possession. And that's how Giannis is today. He don't just every possession, no possessions off. I don't care if he's dead tired, he's sprinting back, he's blocking shots, he's contesting, he's running the floor. You don't see that in today's game. So
Yeah,
I see it like Giannis.
I like Giannis's
every
intensity
position.
level. I love his intensity level. I love the way his aggressiveness as he looks to attack on a regular basis, which is what I did. I was never passive from that perspective. I was always looking to attack, so I see that.
Yeah.
And you
but
were
he's
on-
more of a perimeter oriented.
No, yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
but the way he attacks the basket and and y'all got the same type of like physique, physique that I always wish I had. You know what I mean?
He got some inches on me too.
Right.
He got a couple inches on me.
You weren't just aggressive on the offensive side of the ball, as we've talked about. So many block shots, so aggressive defensively. Now, Vince Carter has been on our show a bunch, and he was talking about where he did dunk on you when you went up to contest him. This was back in 2006.
Right.
But he said what happened after the dunk is really what struck him. Take a listen here.
He didn't talk to me like that for, as he shouldn't, 6, 7 years?
No. 6 or 7 years?
He shouldn't.
Is this true? You did
That's
not speak to
true.
to him for 6 or 7 years?
Rachel, that's not true at all. Not at all.
I was about to say I know better.
First,
We
I
don't
got
think
the
about
utmost respect for Vince. Obviously, I wasn't pleased by him dunking on me, but playing the center position and being a shot blocker, you're gonna put yourself in positions where you're gonna get caught every now and then. Me and Perk was just talking about that. If you're in the vicinity, you got some great athletes on this level. He was one of them in his prime. He would catch anybody.
Anybody.
Including
But-
Kendrick Perkins,
but it
I
didn't
believe. We
stop.
have some highlights of that also.
Trust me, I got more blocks than shots than I have, being dunked on.
being dunked on, yes.
See, look, as a big man, I respect a person who gets dunked on more because he actually go and challenge and somebody move out. Oh, that was the young Perk right there. That was 19 yards. Oh. I wasn't expecting him to do that.
Now you would have took him out there down, Perk. You would have filed him. You wouldn't.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, but it happens.
I didn't expect it when he got me.
Right.
It
But at least it was
happens.
Vince, though, a guy with a
with a track record.
With that reputation.
At least it wasn't somebody else. I'd take it on Vince.
And Alonzo Mourning, 11th all-time in blocks. So this guy got it done. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Y'all enjoyed my home.
In the building.
Enjoy Miami.
We got more of the jump coming up for you right after this. However, we got time also for our first distant replay of the day. This one is going to be from this date in 2003, featuring Stromile Smith. Take it.
Grizzlies at 61.4%.
I see you, Stro.
Ooh, Stromile Smith had so much hops. Windmill just off the drop step. That was nasty right there.
All right, we're back with the jump. We are back live from Miami, Florida. Heat Lakers is tonight at American Airlines Arena. This is going to be hopping. Jimmy Butler, LeBron James have played each other 33 times. Woo. Jimmy Butler has the edge by 1 game so far. So you know LeBron is trying to get it back tonight. I mean, you pretty much have a house on Heat Island here. You love it here. And in fact, you were talking about that on the show recently. So now that we have Amin Elhassan with us for this segment, we thought we'd roll a little sound from the other day.
Uh-oh.
Every year they got the best city edition jerseys. And my guy Lorenzo Butler for the Miami Heat, you know where to find me, bro. I need to get my Vice City jersey personalized, Elhassan, E-L-H-A-S-S-A-N, one word.
I mean, you speak, people listen.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if this is people.
Oh, wow.
Does this qualify as people? This is who we have dropping by the set. Bernie, the Heat mascot.
Okay.
I would ask Bernie what he is, but he can't speak, so I don't know. He's a thing.
Look at that.
Burn,
nice.
flame,
Nose.
Yeah, I hit it on the nose. There you go.
I know you got some kicks for
That's
them,
good.
man.
You know what?
I know you got some shoes.
I gotta go in the closet and see.
for sure.
That's right. You got your jersey.
Yes,
You asked.
I did. Thank you,
Hey,
Lorenzo.
where my stuff at, though?
Well, see? What about Perk?
Well,
What
hold on,
about
we have
Perk?
more.
What about me?
What about Perk?
I got a mug for you, Perk.
The thing is, hey,
You got
look,
nothing.
I didn't put on so much weight, I probably could fit this jersey.
Perk, you have an NBA championship ring. That's all the stuff
That's true.
that you get. Bernie, thank you so much
Thanks,
for
Bernie.
joining us. We appreciate it.
I'm so
thank you, by the
jealous
way, to
right
the
now.
Heat for hosting us today. Everyone in the organization,
Yeah, I'm
a
feeling
class
some
act,
type of way.
just
Man,
like
we
Bernie
still out
himself
here,
is.
man.
Guys, I do want to hit real quick before you just go through all your stuff. LeBron James is back in the arena he played in for 4 years this morning during shoot-around, and he spoke about what he expects tonight. Take a listen.
I mean, they've just continued to get better and better. You know, they're playing some exceptional basketball, especially in this building where they haven't lost all season. So we have to be ready for, you know, that pressure. We have to be ready for the commitment to just playing great basketball tonight.
Perk, you heard the man. The Lakers have won 12 straight on the road. The Heat are undefeated, 11 straight at home. Who do you trust more?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, because the last time this team met up, it was a close game at halftime in the Staples Center. Coach Sproles mixed it up. He threw a zone at the Lakers, which confused